All right, let's dive into the world of glass painting. Today, we're going to help get you prepped for a career as a glass painter. And to help us with this, we've got RoleCatcher's super detailed career guide and their specialized interview guide. Oh, and of course, we'll be pulling some insights from RoleCatcher's AI platform too, which can really give you a boost out there in the job market.
You know, what I think is really neat about this deep dive is that we're not just going to kind of like throw interview questions at you, but we're actually going to connect them back to the bigger picture of what a glass painter's career actually looks like.
Okay, let's unpack that. First things first, what does a glass painter do?
So think beyond just like canvases. You're working with glass, you're working with crystal, turning ordinary windows, stemware, even bottles into these like unique pieces of art. The career guide mentions things like stenciling, freehand drawing, but there's a whole world of techniques out there.
Yeah, it sounds like a real blend of creativity and technical skill, which makes me wonder, what kind of person thrives in a field like that?
Definitely someone who loves working with their hands, but also someone who enjoys the challenge of working with such a delicate material like glass. It's a niche field, and that's actually one of the things that I think makes it so exciting.
I agree. Being niche means you have the potential to be a leading voice, shaping the industry as it grows. The career guide mentions that there's a growing interest in handcrafted artwork and eco-friendly materials. Seems like a lot of possibility there.
Exactly. You could be working in a studio, a workshop, even setting up shop at home, creating these custom pieces for clients all over the world thanks to online sales.
Okay, so we've set the scene. Now let's get down to the interview prep. What are some common questions you might get hit with? And how can you use insights from the career guide to nail your answers?
Okay, let's start with a question that you might encounter even for entry-level positions. Can you tell us about your experience with different types of glass? Now, this might seem basic, but it goes beyond just knowing the names.
Right, it's about demonstrating that you understand the nuances of each type and how those differences affect your work.
Exactly. So for instance, like stained glass requires like these precise cuts, while fused glass allows for more, organic flowing designs. Highlighting this kind of knowledge shows that you're not just a dabbler, but someone who really respects the material.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful. Their CV and resume builder can actually help you identify and highlight those experiences that showcase this knowledge. Even if you haven't had tons of formal training, maybe you've experimented with like different glass projects in your free time or taken a class at a local art center. Those are all really valuable experiences to mention.
Now let's move on to a question that really allows you to shine. How do you approach a new glass painting project? This is your chance to walk them through your creative process.
Yeah. Do you start with sketches, research, historical styles? Create mood boards. It's about showing them how your mind works and how you translate an idea into a beautiful finished piece.
Be specific and engaging. Don't just say you, like brainstorm. Share a quick anecdote about maybe how you once got inspired by a stained glass window you saw in a cathedral, or how a client's love for nature led you to create a design with, flowing vines and leaves.
I love that. It really makes your answer come alive. And I know RoleCatcher has an AI feature that can analyze your answers for things like this.
Absolutely. It can help you fine-tune your responses, make sure you're coming across as passionate and engaged. It can even provide feedback on specific keywords and phrases that are really relevant to that job that you're applying for.
Okay, here's another question that can trip people up. How do you ensure the quality of your work? It's not enough to just say, I do my best.
Right. You need to demonstrate a commitment to excellence. Talk about how you meticulously clean the glass, because even a fingerprint can ruin the adhesion of the paint.
That's a great example of the kind of detail that shows you really know your stuff.
Think about your process, like selecting the right paints, prepping the surface, applying the paint with precision, the firing process, how you inspect each piece. It shows you have a system and that you take pride in your craftsmanship.
And this is a great place to kind of weave in those industry trends that we talked about earlier. For example, you could mention how you prioritize. Using like eco-friendly paints and materials, it shows you're not only skilled, but also conscious of your environmental impact.
And remember, RoleCatcher's Career Guide can provide you with insights into those trends, so you can speak about them confidently in your interview.
All right, let's move on to a question that really gets at your willingness to learn. How do you keep up with new glass painting techniques and trends? They want to know you're not stuck in your ways.
Exactly. This is where you mention those industry blogs, workshops, maybe even social media groups you follow. The Career Guide actually provides links to some fantastic resources, like the Glass Art Society and the International Sculpture Center, which RoleCatcher can help tap into.
That's awesome. So you can genuinely say, I use RoleCatcher to stay connected to the pulse of the glass painting world. It shows you're proactive and committed to growth.
Now let's shift gears to client interaction with this question. Can you describe your experience working with clients? Remember, as a glass painter, you're often bringing someone else's vision to life.
So it's not just about your artistic skills, but your ability to collaborate and communicate effectively.
Think of a specific project where you successfully worked with a client, maybe on a challenging piece. How did you handle their feedback? What were the communication touch points throughout the process?
I bet RoleCatcher's AI could help you analyze your answer here and make sure you're hitting the right notes in terms of professionalism and client communication.
It definitely could. And remember, even if you haven't had tons of client-facing experience, you can draw on examples from other areas of your life where you've demonstrated strong communication and collaboration skills.
Okay, time for another common question. How do you manage your time when working on multiple projects? As a glass painter, you might be juggling several commissions at once, each with its own deadlines.
They want to know you're organized and can handle the pressure. Do you use a project management system, break down tasks, prioritize effectively?
This is a great place to mention any relevant software or tools that you use, things like Trello or Asana. It shows you're tech savvy and take organization seriously.
Absolutely. And here's where RoleCatcher comes in again. Their platform can actually help you track your progress, set reminders, even organize client communication so you can say, I use RoleCatcher to stay on top of my workload and ensure I'm delivering exceptional work to all my clients.
Okay, let's tackle a question that digs into your problem-solving skills. Can you tell us about a particularly challenging glass painting project you worked on? This isn't about bragging, but showing that you can handle a curveball.
Pick a project where you faced a real obstacle, whether it was like technical, logistical, or even something unexpected happened during the firing process. Walk them through your thought process, how you analyzed the problem, and ultimately, found a solution.
Don't be afraid to be honest about what you learned from the experience. It shows humility and a desire to grow.
Exactly. Now, for this next question, think about a time when you had to collaborate with other artists. Can you describe a project where you had to work collaboratively with other artists or designers? Glass painting can often involve teamwork, especially on larger installations or public art pieces.
Right, so they want to know you can communicate effectively, respect different perspectives, and contribute positively to a group dynamic.
Choose a project where you played a significant role and highlight how your specific skills and contributions help the team succeed.
Did you facilitate brainstorming sessions? Help resolve conflicts? These are all great examples to mention.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback can be a game changer again. You can practice describing this experience and get personalized suggestions on how to highlight your teamwork skills and make a lasting impression.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm learning so much, not just about interview prep, but about the world of glass painting itself.
Me too. And we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore. All right, are you ready to kind of step into the shoes of a seasoned glass painter? Let's tackle a question that can make even experienced artists squirm a little bit. How do you handle mistakes or imperfections in your work?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think we all want to present ourselves as, perfect, especially in a job interview.
Yeah.
But I guess everyone makes mistakes, right?
Exactly. It's not about never making a mistake. It's about how you handle them. That's what they're really looking for.
So what are they looking for? Should you pretend like mistakes never happen? Or is honesty the best policy?
Definitely be honest. The interviewer wants to see that you have, the self-awareness to recognize your errors, the humility to accept responsibility, and the problem-solving skills to, actually find a solution.
That makes sense. So should you talk about a specific mistake that you made?
Yes. Share an example of a time you made a mistake. But, focus on what you learned from it. Did a project force you to, rethink a technique or, maybe it highlighted an area where you needed to improve?
So turning that potential negative into a positive and showing them that you're always striving to, get better. I bet RoleCatcher's AI could help you frame your answer in a way that really highlights that growth mindset.
It definitely can. You can practice your answer and get feedback on how to strike that right balance between acknowledging the mistake and emphasizing the positive takeaways.
All right, let's shift gears to a question you might encounter if you're aiming for, like, a leadership role. Can you describe your experience managing a team of glass painters?
Even if you haven't had a formal management title, think about times when you've taken initiative, you know, mentored others or led a project.
So things like stepping up to help a teammate who's struggling,
Mm.
or taking the lead when, like, a deadline is looming.
Exactly. Be specific and share a story about a time you demonstrated those leadership qualities. Did you motivate and inspire your team? Did you delegate effectively? Did you create a positive and collaborative environment?
And how do you tie this back to, the specific role that you're interviewing for?
That's a great question. Research the company and the team that you'd be working with. What are their values? What are their challenges? And then connect your leadership experience to how you can contribute to their success.
So showing them you've done your homework,
Mhm.
and that you're not just looking for any leadership role, but that you're specifically interested in leading their team.
Right. And guess what? RoleCatcher's platform can actually help you identify those key leadership skills that are important to that specific employer.
That's amazing. Now, taking a step back from those specific questions, the career guide outlines different stages of, a glass painter's career. Why is it helpful to understand these stages when you're prepping for an interview?
It helps you kind of paint a picture of your career trajectory and how this particular role fits into your long-term goals. You're essentially showing them where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go.
Okay, let's break it down. The first stage is entry level. What does that look like for a glass painter?
It's all about mastering the fundamentals. You'll be learning from experienced artists, assisting on projects, prepping materials, and gradually taking on more responsibility. It's a time of absorbing knowledge and building a solid foundation.
Sounds like a great opportunity to learn from the masters. And it's not just about technical skills, right? It's also about developing your artistic eye and finding your unique style.
Absolutely. Then comes the junior glass painter stage. You're starting to work more independently, taking on more challenging projects, and building a portfolio that showcases your talent and skills.
It's also a time to network with other artists, attend workshops, and kind of explore different niches within glass painting. Maybe you discover a passion for stained glass restoration or creating, custom pieces for high-end clients.
Exactly. Continuous learning is crucial. Next, you move into the mid-level stage, where you're becoming a seasoned professional. You're leading projects, managing client relationships, and perhaps even mentoring junior artists.
So it seems like the focus shifts from learning the craft to kind of managing projects and people.
Right. You're recognized for your expertise and your ability to deliver consistently high-quality work. You might also start thinking about teaching, exhibiting your work, or even starting your own studio.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
Finally, there's the senior glass painter stage, the pinnacle of your career.
You're a master of your craft, a respected leader, and a mentor to those coming up behind you. You might be overseeing large-scale projects, setting the artistic direction for a company, or even contributing to advancements in the field through research and innovation.
That's inspiring. Now, do people always follow this linear path?
Not necessarily. Some people might, specialize in a specific technique or type of project. Others might branch out into related fields like glass blowing or sculpture. Your career path might take unexpected turns, and that's okay.
The key is to stay curious, embrace new challenges, and keep learning. And if you're feeling a bit lost or unsure about your path, that's where RoleCatcher's Career Compass tool can be so helpful.
Right. It allows you to explore different career options, identify skills you might need to develop, and discover related fields that you might not have even considered. It's like having a career counsel in your pocket.
This has been such a comprehensive deep dive into the world of glass painting. I feel like we've covered so much ground, from understanding the nuances of the craft to tackling those, tricky interview questions.
We have, and we've just scratched the surface. But I hope this has given you a solid foundation for your interview prep and a glimpse into the exciting possibilities that await you as a glass painter.
I feel like we've given our listeners a real toolbox for success.
Yeah, we have. But remember, the most important thing is to be yourself.
Let your passion shine through.
Exactly. Show the interviewer your creativity, your enthusiasm, your dedication to the craft. Those are the qualities that truly make a great glass painter.
And if you want that, extra edge, RoleCatcher is an amazing resource. Their AI can help you tailor your CV, practice your answers, and even discover, new career paths that you might not have considered.
Plus, it's free to get started.
So head over to RoleCatcher, explore their platform, and get ready to rock that interview. Remember, The world of glass painting is full of possibilities. Keep learning, keep creating, and never stop chasing those artistic dreams.
That's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.